Friends, we have touched the name Vishwayonih before, and this name has repeated again here in this shloka. Similar to the meaning of the name Vishvayonih, we took appreciation in the name Jagadadija as well. As the very beginning, or since the time the universe came into being in our previous study meeting. For today, let us pick the names Vijaya and Jeta and gain deeper appreciation to these names. They each are talking about having to be victorious. Friends, the very Vishnu Sahasranama we are engaged in is woven into the epic Mahabharata. The original name of Mahabharata was Jaya. It was about being victorious. Now, what is being victorious? Victory, friends, in our human world assumes two molds. One is winning an external battle or a political victory. The other is winning the inner battle, the battles that are fought in our minds. The winning of the outer battle, the Indian system gives the name Vijaya. And winning the inner battles, the Indian system gave the name Jaya. Jaya, the real name for Mahabharata. Friends, in a given day, we all can claim to be in a conflict of one form or the other. The majority of the times these conflicts are fought are within our minds. So that Jaya is winning the battles in our minds. By winning an external battle, one can expand the territory. We are not talking here about the 51st or the 52nd state. But that aside, in our personal worlds, one can imagine this territory expansion as a new work you want, an expanded span of control and responsibility, or a new customer or a market that you and your organization look to serve. So we as individuals come to benefit in these external victories. How about those internal battles? What is the purpose of that, and what does winning those mean? Friends, we said that the development and growth of an individual was against forces that are tending to press it down. So these inner battles are typically with forces that are working hard to press us down and compress our personalities. These inner battles are with forces that are working hard to press us down and compress our personalities. So, the inner battle is to continue to counter these forces and work on expanding our human capacity. Yes, just like the external battles were to expand the territory of a certain dimension, these internal battles too are to expand. However, to expand our capacities. By expanding our personality territory, we accomplish an intrinsic bigness in ourselves. Such large capacities in our hearts and minds is what we need to further take to the jobs and functions that we perform in the society. Now, how do we define victory in our inner battles? How do we define victory in our inner battles? Yes, the victories here are measured in the values. In these battles, we strengthen the values we have inherited with our own contributions and make it richer and vigilant for the next generation to inherit. Friends, we are studying the name Vijaya and Jeta today, meaning to be victorious. Friends, in our study group here, we have constantly derived from the tools of Purushartha or human direction or human purpose. Let us remind ourselves of that in the context of Vijaya Jeta. In Purushartha, we have Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha as dimensions in human goals and purpose. Kama, where we said as humans we should have a well-rounded desire, a desire for better life for ourselves and all around us, and develop a better society where everyone can thrive. An innate desire to keep progressing, a clear commitment to never stagnate. That we appreciate as one of the purpose. But how to accomplish those? Artha. Yes, all those dreams do not come only through desires. We have to act and earn it. That is where the need for Artha or economic strength comes in. Such economic strength is built over a deep-rooted political stability that too we appreciate as the need where Bhishma narrated in his wisdom to Yudhishthira that the duty of the political leader is like that of the footprint of an elephant, where the footprint of all other animals will fit into the elephant's footprint. If the political duty is performed with steadfastness by a political leader, then others too can perform their duties or dharma real well. We have seen in our very own times how a weak political system leads to the collapse of strong economies. So with that, we got introduced to the third of the Purushartha, Dharma. Dharma, friends, we recognized as a sense of mutuality, where we learn to live in harmony, to cooperate and work with others, to make room for the thoughts and beliefs of others. It is a contract that each of us in our society will accommodate for the other and not impose ourselves on others. Now, having appreciated these dimensions of Purushartha, that is, Kama, Artha, Dharma, which predominantly influences life in the sense-driven world or the tangible world or the world outside that we experience, our study also lifted the curtains upon a very new world, a world where our senses cannot contribute or participate in the experience, the world inside. we understood very deeply that while in pursuit of sensory world, the outside world, we should not ignore this inner world. The inside world is very different. Unlike the external world, where the accomplishments are very relative in nature, that is, one experiences a different economic ability than the other, we understood that the inner world offers itself equally to us, where we each can have equal access to this spiritual fulfillment. And this dimension of Purushartha or human purpose was Moksha or spiritual freedom dimension. So, the humanistic direction we have is to be victorious in all of these dimensions. If a society were to ignore one of the dimension, it will lose its even keel in its progression and steer away from its goals. A dynamic society is one that has discovered the perfect blend of external perseverance and inner virtues. Virtues that are strengthened over generations. Such a perfect blend promotes and establishes a stable civilization, a cultural set of humanity that are technically advancing and morally supreme. So, not just Vijaya, the external victories, but also Jaya, the inner victories, is what a full victory is for humanity. With such a well-rounded victory, humanity will make a valorous departure from creatureliness of being engulfed in fear and progress towards a new dimension of freedom. Friends, when we are facing such battles against forces that are compressing us, it is a very natural human tendency to give up a battle. Such battles in our everyday life can take the form of an executive presentation or facing a tough situation with a customer that you are supporting. Now, in these situations, the natural human tendency is to either fight or flight. Now, in that very similar situation within the Mahabharata is the condition of Arjuna, where he too, like many of us, has overcome with anxiety. In that instant, his mind has opted for a flight instead of fight. To calm that anxious mind and be engaged in his duty, or what we mentioned earlier, to bring the capacity in us to the jobs and functions we perform. Arjuna is provoked by the Lord with the narratives in the Bhagavad Gita. So let us pick one such provocation. In our previous study of the Jagadadija, we took citation of the Divya Drishti to experience the Lord. This shloka in the Bhagavad Gita is presented in that dimension or the aegis of the Divya Drishti. So let us take shloka number 34 from chapter 11. And like always, I will say a few words and pause where possible. Please repeat after me as loud as possible and make it yours. Dronam cha Bhishmam cha Jayadratam cha Karnam Tatanyan Apiyodhaviran Maya Hatanstvam Jayima Vyatishta Yuddhasvajetasi Rane Sapatnan Dronam cha Bhishmam cha Jayadratam cha Karnam Tatanyapi Yodaviran Maya Hatamstvam Jayima Vyatishta Yuddhasya Jetasi Rane Sapatnan. Dronacharya, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, and other brave warriors have already been vanquished by me. Therefore, O Arjuna, slay them without being disturbed. Just fight, and you will be victorious over your enemies in the battle. Friends, what we see from this sloka 34 of chapter 11 is that Lord, as time himself, has already completed the job. We have to complete the formalities. The decision has already been taken. We need to execute it and take it to completion is the idea that is presented here. We have taken inspiration from this sloka in our meditation opening 2, where we say, you are destined to be a big success. Our destiny to succeed is already written. We need to just do the formality, which is performing our duty. You have to be present in the situation. You have to bring that capacities in you to the functions and jobs that is to be performed. Let us not wilt second-guessing ourselves is the message. So friends, in summary, we took up the names Vijaya and Jeta today, which means being victorious. Through these names, we took appreciation that victory is one that has to be won both on the outside as well as the inside. Through the tools of Purushartha, we took appreciation of the dimensions on which one has to come victorious. Like the external battle is the expansion of the territory of a certain dimension, the inner battle was the expansion of the inner dimension of our personalities. Such a personality expansion is accomplished by strengthening the values we have inherited with our own contributions and making it rich and vigilant for the next generation to inherit. As we bring our capacities to such battles of ours, let us remind ourselves of the words of Queen Vidula from the Mahabharata Upakatha, where she says, Santosham vai sukham hanti. Santosham vai sukham hanti. We cannot remain within our comfort zone. We have to take up the battles and take it up earnestly, as contentment will destroy the wider worldly happiness. With this sankalpa or determination that yes, we are ready to take on our battles, we are ready to go with happiness to play along with our victorious destiny, let us go into our meditation.